How to discover your spiritual identity. God has a place and a purpose for each of us in His kingdom. In order for you to know where your place is, you must discover your spiritual identity. Your spiritual identity is not based on worldly criteria, social status, or education. You may be very successful in a profession, but still feel like something is missing if you have not yet discovered your spiritual identity. Healing is essential in discovering our spiritual identity. Pain and scars from the past keep us connected to the past and distort the way we perceive ourselves and who we are to God. God speaks to our hearts, telling us who we are, but we can't clearly hear Him until we are healed. Pain blocks and distorts our spiritual hearing. Through the healing process, we experience restoration, being restored into favor and fellowship with God. Sin separates us, healing restores us. In the past several years, I noticed a block in hearing the Lord, especially through dreams. At the time, I could not understand why I wasn't hearing Him or why I felt somewhat separated from Him. But as I continue down the path of my healing, I am able to hear God speaking to my heart, speaking to me through dreams, and I feel a stronger connection to Him now more than I ever have before. It was because of my sin and pain that I was disconnected from God. Communing with the Father is opening my eyes to how He sees me and showing me who I really am. In Jeremiah, we read that God knew Jeremiah before he was in his mother's womb. God knows you, and He is waiting on you to know yourself. He wants you to know yourself as He knows you. The prodigal son is an example of a spiritual son who finally discovered who he was. He didn't fully embrace his position and inheritance until he went astray and was restored to his family. He had to go through the death of who he thought he was so he could experience life, and the same is true for us today. The prodigal had a ring on his finger and a robe on his back as he sat at the banquet table that was prepared for him. He heard his father say, "For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." And because ye are sons, God has sent forth the Spirit of His Son into your hearts, crying, "Abba, Father." Wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son, and if a son, then an heir of God through Christ.